Hey, what's up guys? My name is Tom Spark. Welcome back to another VPN review. Today we're checking out Cryptostorm. We haven't done a review on the channel yet. I did a review of it on my website a long time ago, but I thought it was time to add it to the tier list. We're going to rank it with pricing, reputation, speeds, streaming compatibility, application performance, stuff like that, as well as support. And we're going to help you decide if it's a VPN worth using today and in the future. We're going to rank it on the tier list, putting it in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, or tier 4. And making it tier 1 and tier 2 recommended for use, and tier 3 and tier 4 not recommended for use. If you guys want to check out vpntierlist.com, you can check out all my rankings and tier list performance of all the VPNs, as well as other links on the website as well that show you other recommended security, privacy, and internet-based tools you can take advantage of that I recommend. Anyways, guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this review right now. So way back around 4 or 5 years ago when I first reviewed this VPN, I thought the website was horrible. It looked really bad. Since then, it's still pretty basic, but admittedly, it does look a lot better than it used to. It looks fine. The website itself is still like a little bit basic. Kind of has like these weird plants. As you can see, it's a pretty basic website. But, you know, that's just kind of the way it is. And there aren't all bad things about it, especially in terms of pricing, which we're talking about now, is that they do give you some interesting options. You can pay for a week, you can pay monthly, or a year. And each one of these prices is very affordable. $52 for a year is pretty good. $6 for a month is very good. And weekly for a $186, I do like that option. Not only that, but you can also pay to have it non-recurring, which is an interesting kind of option that you don't see with a lot of VPN providers. One thing to note here is that you are paying for specific plans and getting specific number of devices, which is a little bit weird. Take with most VPN providers, you get the same number of devices for every plan, but with Cryptostorm, it's limiting you to 1 device per month. And then if you pay for a year, you get more devices. So it's kind of incentivizing you to pick the longer commitment plans to get more simultaneous device use. And then of course, they do have a longer commitment plans as well, up to 2 years. You can get a 5 times 1 month bundle, so 5 people can use it, I guess, for 1 month. And they even have a lifetime offer for $500 and 6 simultaneous device use. So it's an interesting pricing system. Not really seeing that many ones like it. You can pay with Bitcoin with different things, and also use coin payments to pay with altcoins, which is really nice. I do like that feature. And of course, you can also pay with PayPal or a credit card. But I do like the transparency here with this system. Non-recurring is really nice. It was easy for me to test it out and pay for it without having to pay $10 and ask for a refund. So I really like that kind of transparency. Overall, I've never had a problem with Cryptostorm's pricing, and in my former review, it was one of my highest rated sections for Cryptostorm as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the application is going to look like and see what we're getting into. So Cryptostorm has its own like little widget. You can also use WireGuard if you want to, or OpenVPN, the application. This is kind of like their basic kind of app for Windows though, if you want to use it. It's interesting because when you sign up on the website, it's going to give you this like huge page. It looks like this. It's kind of a mouthful, to be honest, looking at all this information, trying to digest it and understand it. And I can see a new VPN user easily being overwhelmed by this plethora of information. But, you know, taking a time to look at it, it's easily understood. This is like your token, your activation code. So it's kind of similar to ExpressVPN right there. It's a 1-week crypto token for me. It's like your code or your token. So I actually kind of like that. It's not actually that bad. It's actually easy to set up. You don't have to like create an account, which is actually really cool, and kind of similar to even Movad a little bit. I like that a lot. And of course, you have some information about the token durations. There are also some other instructions here about port forwarding and stuff like that, and based on the client or, you know, operating system you're using. And you can also look up tutorials for Cryptostorm routers. And they even have like, you know, some support options down here and stuff like that. And you can reach us via web chat. It looks like it's an IRC server. I wonder how many people are on there. I have to check that out later. But, you know, this is a decent instruction manual. It's a little bit laid out kind of weird and basic. It kind of reminds me of like old GeoCities kind of websites, but it's just a plain HTML code, but, you know, it gets the job done. So let's go ahead and take a look at the application again. So we put in our token. We can save the token so we don't have to re-enter it. We have some server options here. Now, this is a smaller VPN provider, and we're not seeing as many servers as usual. However, we do get the ones that we want to test, fortunately. Do I have to input my token again every time? Like, what happened? I don't know. I don't know if I need to re-implement my token. I'll have to test that in a second when I'm connecting. But it seemed like the token just kind of disappeared. I'm not sure why that would be. It looks like maybe updating node list, so I might need to update it. Oh, maybe it's just updating the server listing. So it actually did delete my token. I'm gonna have to re-implement it. And I'm going to connect just to see what it is like. Looks like it is connecting there. Found the tap driver, logging into Cryptostorm. Your DNS settings tend to be configured. So it wants to fix it to Cloudflare's DNS. So I'm just gonna put no for now. Well, it looks like it won't let me connect unless I do that. So we'll have to do that, I guess. Well, I guess I put no and it is letting me connect right now. So, So we are connecting. I actually do this interface is kind of like old school, but I kind of do like it. I like how it's very visual, showing you what's happening. It's not like some VPNs where like there's like this hang up period where you're not sure what's happening. It's very transparent, showing you what's happening in the code. Also visually, it's showing you like that connected, and we are connected. I don't really like how it just disappeared like that. I prefer an app to stay open like this. That's just like kind of my preference. So now that we are connected, I'm gonna go ahead and test some speeds, and we're gonna bounce back and then go over some more features. So let's see here. So in a lot of ways, Cryptostorm is kind of like a janky VPN provider, but I remember last time I tested it, I actually got really good speeds. Maybe it's because it's smaller, maybe because they do have pretty good servers, or they're not, filling the servers with maximum capacity. So let's go ahead and see, maybe 4 or 5 years later, if they've improved speeds, if they've kept things consistent. Honestly, I would be happy with just the consistent speeds that I got back then. I got really good speeds. Right now, the speed test is a little disappointing. I do have a 1 GB per second internet, and this is not showing anywhere close to that. We are getting a decent ping, and the upload rate is around 40 megabits per second as well. And it looks like we're getting quite a bit slower here as well. Of course, we're gonna have to do the Ubuntu torrent test to see, what kind of speeds we can get when actually downloading stuff, because in my opinion, that's a more important indication of how good speeds are, because a lot of people use VPNs to actually torrent content and download content. Now keep in mind, some of my fastest VPNs give me around 30 to 40 megabytes a second here. And this one we're getting around 23.7, 27.3. Some of the most popular ones like Nord and ExpressVPN get around like 15 to 14 megabytes a second. So as you can see right now, Cryptostorm is outperforming some of those popular bad boys that everyone loves to shill for, and doing so very easily at a fraction of the price. So this is impressive speeds. Pretty much just kind of how I remembered it being a pretty fast VPN provider. It's not the fastest. It's not as fast as Torguard. Torguard gets up to 35 megabytes a second here for me downloading this. But it looks like this one is still very capable. This might be, maybe close to the second fastest, or definitely in the 4 to 5 region for speeds. And maybe 4 to 4.5 in terms of speed test. Very solid here, especially for the price, and just like I remembered it. In terms of the application, one thing I don't like about it is that you can't configure options when you're connected. Now, some other VPN providers are like this as well, like Torguard, and you know that I really like Torguard's application, but I thought it was worth mentioning here as well. It's not a deal breaker really, because you could just disconnect and configure settings. Once you do configure settings, it's not like you're always configuring them anyways, so not a huge deal. But some other apps out there that are like Windscribe, some of the other ones like Private Internet Access that are also very good applications, they do kind of let you configure things while you're connected. It doesn't like gray that section out. Looks like Cryptostorm might be kind of bugging out right now, so we might have to close the program and open it again. One thing about Cryptostorm's app is like you start it and there's definitely a delay, and then it will kind of start up and take a while. So that's kind of a bummer. Some other apps out there definitely start up and kind of get you going faster than Cryptostorm. I'm wondering, it looks like it might have saved my token this time. It didn't save my token before. It definitely would be a hassle having to go in and re-enter the token all the time, because it's like re-entering your credentials. Maybe not as user-friendly as Molvad in that sense, because I don't think I've ever had that problem with Molvad. Once you enter in, it kind of like saves it forever. So in terms of settings here, it's pretty light so far. We have a little bit of startup settings. Is there any option to make it so it doesn't hide after connecting? I don't think so. A little bit customization here, protocols, timeouts, random port. Let me choose exit IP, a little bit of port settings there. I'm not really quite sure what this is. I've never seen that before. We do have some IPv6 protection leaks. We have some WebRTC leak prevention, DNS leak prevention, DNS crypt, and a kill switch, as well as an ad blocker, which is very nice. And we do have some advanced options here for routing and stuff like that, as well as a SOCKS 5 proxy support. So that's actually pretty nice. Honestly, these settings are more than I thought they would be. They're pretty comprehensive. A good amount of customization. It looks small. It looks like there isn't that much, but there's actually a decent amount of options there. You know, we don't see stuff like the difference between an application and network kill switch. We only have one option. And there are like a little bit of limitations here on which protocol you could use. Of course, they do support WireGuard, but you're not getting the customization between IKE v2 and some of these other kind of options here that you do get with some other VPN providers out there. So a little limited in that sense, but overall a pretty good application. Just some caveats with the load time starting it up, and these tokens seem kind of funky. Let's see if it works now. I don't think I'll have to re-implement my token. Let's just try to make sure. So I'm gonna put that no again and try to connect again. I don't like how it does that. All right, I'll have to fix the DNS, I guess. Okay, so I didn't have to implement my token again. Surprisingly, Netflix actually does work with Cryptostorm. As you can see, I am connected right here. I'm very surprised by that because it's just like such a small VPN provider. It makes sense that it works on one hand, but it's also like I really doubt Cryptostorm is trying to unblock geo-restricted services like Netflix and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and see if it works with the other ones. Unfortunately, it looks like Hulu is blocked by Cryptostorm, so that sucks. It also looks like Amazon Prime is blocked as well. So unfortunately, Cryptostorm is not going to work with that many services. I think it's honestly impressive that it still works with Netflix, however, so that's cool. I bet it will be kind of a hit or miss though, so depending on which server you pick, it could be blocked at any point in time. I doubt they're putting services and money to, you know, get around these blocks, but it just so happens that they're small enough that they can get around the blocks. So Cryptostorm, I think, does have an IRC chat that maybe you could talk to them and get some support. They also do have social medias, but they do not have any live chat, which is not surprising given the kind of ghetto nature of this website. So it can't get full points there, unfortunately. So now in terms of reputation, this one definitely kind of has a weird one. I covered it a little bit in my past Cryptostorm review, but the basic idea is that this company is kind of associated with a weird guy called Douglas Spink. According to Cryptostorm, Douglas Spink stopped working on Cryptostorm a while ago, but he did have some involvement with the project. I guess he had kind of come into Cryptostorm as kind of like the PR person, but he went back to jail again, and now, according at least since 2017 or so, I found on this forum that he is not part of the team anymore. This is the guy here. Apparently, he was convicted for bestiality, among other things, which is not something you want to be associated with your VPN. So this guy definitely has kind of given this VPN provider a weird kind of reputation. Other people say they do not trust Cryptostorm because of the association with this guy. People admittedly do think that some of the technical aspects of the service are pretty interesting. And there was like an issue where in the past certain users could ping each other or communicate with each other via client to client, even though they couldn't recreate the issue. They've seemingly tried to make the reputation better by making a blog, as well as kind of improve their PR. I think they're like, honestly, they could be okay, but a lot of people don't trust them. There's also a lot of this bad kind of reputation. You know, the question, of course, is why would they let this guy work on their VPN again if he's kind of a criminal and doing these horrible things? So it's definitely, you know, I don't even know what to make of the reputation of this VPN because it's so weird. A lot of people have their own opinions about it, and maybe it's time for you to make yours based on some of the other things I've talked about in this video. I also found some really old threads on RVPN like 6 years ago. Looks like Douglas Spink was typing here, talking shit about TorGuard, some other VPNs. Not really sure why that was. There's a lot of interesting drama going on here, and if you want to check it out, you could find it. Just look up on Google, I guess, or whatever search engine you want to use. You know, Cryptostorm, strictly anonymous token-based VPN. You'll probably find this on Reddit if you want to read the full story. So there you go. All right, guys, thanks for making it to the end of the review. So what is Cryptostorm's final review score? Well, in some ways they're really good. The pricing, I actually kind of like the pricing. I'm not a huge fan of how they limit simultaneous connections. And the pricing plan is pretty good though for 1 month, only like $6. The yearly price isn't bad. They have some interesting long-term commitment models with more connections available. In terms of application, I actually like some of its security features, but it is very slow to use. It takes a long time to start up. It takes a long time to disconnect. It kind of has to run through a lot of processes, and the overall kind of management of the application feels very clunky, and like they haven't really put a lot of thought into how it feels day to day. The technology might be good, but the usability definitely is suffering, especially years after the fact that they've developed these applications. So I still think they need a lot of work in this application to make it more streamlined compared to the competitors out there. You know, they do support WireGuard and some of these cool things, so from a security standpoint they could be interesting, but I can't give it that good of points for application just simply because usability is not there. And you know, you might be kind of searching for those mobile apps as well. You might have to use OpenVPN and some other kind of apps, not the apps from Cryptostorm. And in terms of speeds, I actually was pretty impressed here. They're very good speeds, pretty close to the top, not as good as some of the top VPNs out there, maybe like TorGuard. A couple others might be faster, but it's definitely in the fastest VPN category. In terms of reputation, this one is just, I don't even know what to make of it. They're associated with this weird dude. A lot of people don't trust them. They have definitely a questionable history as a company involving with this guy, even if he did go to jail and stuff like this. So it's kind of up to you. I didn't want to dock them completely because they do seem to be kind of reforming their company and try moving away from this association, so you get some points for that. And they do have some kind of interesting security and technological kind of white pages and stuff like that, so they do get a little bit of bonus points for that. In terms of streaming, they do work with Netflix, which is cool, but they don't really work with any of the other streaming services, and definitely Netflix is something that's going to be hit or miss, and I don't think you're going to get that much support for it if it does end up getting blocked. So that's my final thoughts on this VPN service. I think the website also needs a little bit of work, and there's not like full-blown live chat and stuff like that, which it could be a hit or miss depending on if you like live chat. Overall, the service is going to get a 2.875 out of 5, making it a tier 3 VPN. It's almost recommended. I think if I had a cleaner reputation, no association with these kind of bad actors, more streaming support, a better website and customer support, it definitely could be a tier 2 VPN, no questions asked, because it has a good price and very good speed. That's just my thoughts on Cryptostorm, guys. Let me know down in the comments down below what you think of this one, and I'll see you again on the next VPN review very soon.